Shalom and welcome to another episode of the Lowdown, the podcast by EUJS, the European Union of Jewish Students. My name is Matty Fisher.
And I'm Natasha and we are your hosts today. As we approach the 2-year anniversary of October 7th massacre, we are honored to be joined by Hila Fakilro.
Hila was a bartender at the Nova Festival when the terrible atrocities began on October 7th, and since then she has dedicated her time to raising awareness of the hostages still held in Gaza, alongside working to keep the memory of what happened on that horrific day going for the Nova exhibition. Thank you for joining us today, Hila.
To begin, can you tell us a bit about your life before October 7th?
Before October 7, and I used to live in Tel Aviv. I was renting an apartment with roommates. I was a student from communication and PR. I was a bartender and a fitness instructor. Any regular Israeli, I think, teenager.
And on the morning of October 7th, going back to that day, would you be able to talk us through your experience at the start at the Nova Festival, how you first realized what was happening, and what was going on?
Yeah, so I start my shift at that day at 11 p.m. at night, and I was supposed to end it at 7 a.m. So when everything happened, I was in my shift. And in the beginning, I thought it was fireworks until I realized it's rockets. We used to rockets in Israel, unfortunately, so I wasn't really panicking. I was really calm, and then I stopped the party, the festival, I stopped the music, and I went to the entrance of the festival, and I sat with another bartender. We sat for almost a full hour until our bar manager texted us in the WhatsApp group that we need to go back to the bar because they need help. So I stood up, start walking, and my friends grabbed my hand and screamed at me to go to my car. He's one of my saviors of that day. I went to my car, and from that moment, I got like a really bad inner feeling, like my inner guts tell me that I should be driving, that I need to get outside of my car. But I didn't have any other choice because we're in an open fields and there is rockets. We knew nothing about the terrorists. I started driving and I got to the main road, and then I saw a police officer blocking the road to my left side. And then an ambulance came and they take in from one of the cars a girl with a gunshot in her leg, and then they pick up another police officer with a bunch of bullets all in his stomach area. And I didn't understand what's going on, so I drove to the other side, to the right side, and then I stuck in a traffic jam, and a wave of people start running to my direction and scream, "There are terrorists, they are all over the place, don't be here." So I'm stepping outside of my car and I'm trying to hide, and then I start hearing the shooting. And in that moment, we didn't really know what to do. And I think I got in and outside of my car around to 4 to 5 times. In the last time, police officer said that we need to put the cars on the side of the road because a military van is coming. And so I did that. And then I was hiding alone under a tree. And it's always, it's funny to me to say hiding because the leaves of the tree ending really high. So I was completely exposed. And then I saw my roommate from Tel Aviv. Back then I was living with, and we start running together. A police officer said on the mic that we need to run east to Ofakim direction. And we start running. And that was the moment the terrorists came to the to the festival area. I was looking back to the main road, and thank God until now I don't remember what I saw, but I remember what I heard. I heard the Allah Akbar call, them laughing and the screaming. And that's the moment I told myself I'm not going to look back anymore. And so we start running until we found a tree that we can hide under it. And then my brother called me and said Ofakim is occupied by terrorists, that it's not clear. And then you start to think, what should we do? If we need to stay here and hide, if we need to go back to our car, or should we go to the terrorists? But maybe by the fact that we are running from the terrorists, we go to another terrorist group. I can tell you now that there isn't right or wrong answer, because 1 second is the best decision and the second after is the worst one. We decided to keep going. After 3 hours of us running, a police officer came escort us, and he said the next village is called Patish, not Ofakim, and Patish is clear from terrorists. We were running for 5 hours, 20 kilometers, in open fields under the sky with all the rockets and the shooting, until we got to a safe place. And back there, we stayed in a private home for 4 hours hiding there. I managed to get back to my home at that day around 8 p.m.
After that, when did you begin to really realize the scale of everything that had gone on and start to like map out your next steps for like the next day and the days after?
So while I was running, I was thinking to myself, it's only 10 to 20 terrorists. Like, why it's still going on? And when we got home, we understand it's much more, apparently around to 2,000 and more terrorists. And the first video that I get is the video of a friend of mine getting kidnapped to Gaza. Sorry. And people start sending me picture of my friends that are missing. And one of the pictures was my bar manager. She was a friend of mine from school. She was the one to get me the job. And for some reason, I knew that she didn't make it. And other friends' pictures I was seeing. Later on, I discovered I lost 6 of my friends. 3 of my friends got kidnapped to Gaza. And now one of the kidnapped is not longer alive, so he's part of the 6. I think it took me a while to really understand, but in the same day after I opened my cell phone and saw all the videos and the pictures, it became more clear what's happened.
Thank you so much for sharing and taking the time for telling us. Do you want to tell us a bit about their name and their life?
Yeah, the 3 friends that got kidnapped, it's Avinatan Or, and he's still there. We don't know what his situation, if he's alive or not. I'm going to do everything we can to bring all the hostages back, because enough is enough, and it's been too long, way too long. My friend's name is Noar Gamani, and she's back and alive. And the third one was my bar manager in that day. His name is Alex Lubanov. 1 year ago, 3 hours before the IDF found him, Hamas heard the IDF is coming and murder him alongside Hirsch Goldberg and Eden Yerushalmi and Almog Sarusi.
Yes, I think we all remember this day. It's hard to go on another question, but since we're approaching the 2 years anniversary, can you tell us a bit more about everything you've been up to for the last 2 years? How have you been doing? And also, how do you think that the events were affecting you, your friends, and your family who were there?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I thought I will never get over it. I didn't saw a reason to be living, to want to live. And then I started doing my first interview in English to share what's happened to me, to share what's happened to my friends. And then it came to my mind that there is a reason why I'm alive. This is the reason why I make it and my friend didn't. I have the voice, I have the power to stand in front of people and to share my story in a foreign language. So this is what I dedicate my life to. I'm doing delegation outside of Israel. I'm doing interviews only in English. I don't want people in Israel to recognize me as a survivor. In Israel, I just want to be Hila. but outside of Israel, for me, this is my mission, to show the truth, to spread the truth, what's happened to me, what's happened to my friends, what's happened to my people. So this is give me a lot of purpose to keep living and to keep fighting for my wealth, for my health, and sorry, I got lost. Yeah, and slowly I started to get better, and I started taking care of myself in a mental way, and now I'm doing much more better. These days, my beliefs in God, in the universe, in people, it's becoming a little bit more better, more clear. For me, I have a purpose, and this is my way to fight for what's right and wrong. And yeah, I will never stop fighting.
It's really powerful. Thank you. If you're building on that purpose, could you tell us a bit more about your work with the Nova exhibition and what you've done with them to keep the memory of everyone who was lost at the Nova Festival alive?
Yeah. So I've been in two Nova exhibition, one in Miami and one in Toronto, Canada. And I think the really difference between a regular delegation to an exhibition, that in the exhibition we're bringing all the things from the festival to the place that we are staying. If it's if it's the bar that I was working in, if it's all the tent area equipment that the festival people bring with them, if it's the bone car, the toilets, and to see that in your own eyes, it's much more powerful just listening. So for me, when people doing all the exhibition and then they're meeting me and hearing my story, and they have for the first time a chance to speak with really Nova survivor, I think that's the point we can change people's opinion. It's to make people remember what they are fighting for. For me, it doesn't matter if I'm speaking with Jewish and non-Jewish. I want everybody to come, everybody to listen. And this exhibition, it's must doing because it's part of our Jewish history, of Israel history. And I think it's supposed to be part of every human being history, because we don't speak about religion, about countries, about nothing in the exhibition. We don't speaking about Israel or Palestine or Jewish or Muslim. We're speaking about people that went dancing and not all of us got back. So for me, this is what I'm trying to fight for.
This is the biggest power of storytelling and the strength that also give us for us the willing to continue to share your stories, to fight, and to continue to advocate as much as possible. So since I said it's the 2 years after, the stories of many survivors are being shared, but often goes unheard outside of our community. How do you continue to wake up every morning and continue to share the story of your loved ones and yours?
There is time that I don't have the power, that I don't have the willing to wake up. I'm still didn't completely heal. And I think now, after almost 2 years, I know when I need to say I need a moment, I need a break. Not all the time I can fight for the truth and for what is right. So now I know to listen to myself. But a lot of the times that even if I don't have powers, I remember in what people reaction was after my testimony or what people conversation. And for me, a lot of people, after me speaking with them, it gave them a lot clear opinion of what's happening that day, and it's opening a lot of people minded and a lot of people mind. So for me, the fact that I can do that, it's give me the strength to keep going.
And can you talk about maybe a bit of your life now, where you are based on what you're up to at this point, 2 years after?
Yeah. So it's always funny to me to say, there is a thing, it's called post-trauma growth. Post-trauma, it's really bad and hard thing, and I know that I will never completely heal. A lot of time I'm afraid to go to sleep, and I'm afraid just to do a lot of things that regular people don't afraid. But in the same time, it's funny to say, but the Nova changed my life for the better. It gave me purpose. It gave me purpose to keep going, to wake up every day, to keep going and to fight. It gave me purpose to really believe in humans, believe in God, believe in my existence. It's a gift that I got from the most horrible day that I could be in. So in that day, I'm traveling all over the world to share my story, trying to fight for the truth and for the right. I'm still going to therapy because for me, it's part of my healing process and it's mandatory to me. I'm trying to smile to the world. For me, it doesn't matter who I'm meeting with. I just want to be a good human being. This is who I am. And I want to spread love and joy. So I did get back dancing. And now I can say that I will never stop dancing, no matter what. And I will never stop smiling and laughing and love, no matter who is in front of me. I don't have enemies. I only believe in love. And I really believe that love is going to bring the peace. And right now we're in a war between the light and the dark, and the light is going to win. And it doesn't matter who you are or who the person in front of me. A lot of people hate me for me being me as a Jewish, as Israeli. And I always said, I didn't choose to be Jewish. I didn't choose to be born Israeli. But I can choose to be a good human being. And that's what I'm choosing every day.
It's really, really, really powerful. I think we can all take something away from that. We EUJS represents 160,000 young people across Europe. If you could share one message to them to give them the hope for the future, what would that be?
Yeah. So first of all, no matter what's happened, life will never stop. You can always get up and keep going and fighting for your own way, own being. And as I said, for me, we are right now in a war between the light and the dark. It doesn't matter of religion, Christian, like, sorry, it doesn't matter if what is your religion and what country you're coming from. And they have only one thing to ask from the people that listen to us. Be a person of love, be a person of joy, love everybody, no matter what he did to you. If you know him, you don't know him, smile, laugh, because that's the only way we can change the world, we can change the future. And I always have a sentence that I'm saying, when you go to a room full of light and you put a little bit of darkness, it wouldn't make any difference. But if you go to a room full of dark and you put a little bit of light, it will make the all difference. So be the light and be the difference.
Thank you so much, Hila. That was extremely powerful words. And thank you so much for joining us today on the Lowdown.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you for bringing this light and this sparkle for the rest of the year. And to finish on this note, we want to invite all of you who are listening to this podcast to stay up on date with all the latest news from EUJS and make sure to follow us on all of our social media at EUJS Official and at the Lowdown Podcast. Have a great day. Thank you, Hila.
Thank you very much.